What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. And today we are back out here in the garage with Mom's 2015 Jeep Wrangler JK. Now we are finally completing one of the other things that she wanted that we were losing going from her Subaru BRZ to her Jeep Wrangler Sport. One of the things was heated seats, which I have added. I didn't make a video because it was not terribly fun. The other thing was the backup camera, which we have already added almost day one on this thing. And then last but not least, she was disappointed, if you want to say, about losing auto headlights. Not auto high beams, but just auto headlights. Not that it's that big of a deal, but when your current vehicle has auto headlights and then your new one doesn't have it, that's kind of a pain, needing to remember to turn on and off your headlights. Yeah, I know, first world problems, but with it being as easy as it is to add on a JK, why not add it? So all we need for the install is a headlight switch out of the Wrangler with auto headlights. Obviously, we've got the 3-position off running light headlights and then auto. And then of course for this Jeep, this has fog light. So we needed to make sure we got a switch with the fog light setting. So this was just a purchase off of eBay. I can try to remember to throw part numbers down in the description. A new switch was pretty outrageously priced, but I was able to buy a new or a used Mopar switch from eBay. There is a bunch of companies that part out vehicles, obviously. So this is out of a Jeep Wrangler. And then last but not least, we do need the sun load sensor. This is the light sensor that goes in the center there on the dashboard, so the vehicle can determine whether it has sun shining on it or not to know whether to turn the headlights on or off. And then we also need to program the vehicle to know that it now needs to be looking at a sun load sensor and the headlamp switch. So I was able to download JScan, which is a Jeep specific programming thing, but you do need a OBD2 Bluetooth adapter. So I've got a relatively inexpensive iCar Pro OBD2 adapter, basically, that I found recommended through JScan's website as one of the ones that works decently with their software. So we're going to get the switch installed, get the sun load sensor installed, and then last but not least, we will go in and do the programming, which I have never done before. I've only ever done dealer software programming stuff, so this will be fun playing with an aftermarket thing to be able to program things. So hopefully by the end of this, Mom will be able to leave the thing in the auto position and never have to touch the headlight switch again. So guys, I've already got most of these screws pulled out for the dash here, but I will make a quick run through. There is this lower trim panel here that does need to come off, so you can access 2 7mm screws down here at the bottom. And then you do have to remove your window switch here in the center, which just comes out with just a quick screwdriver pull on the bottom, because there is a hidden 7mm screw here. And then last but not least, up top, you do have a center 7mm screw here in that front tray area. But once all 4 of those are out, you will need to kind of pop the dash panel loose. There are clips all the way around the thing, so you can get that out of the way. Now guys, on our steering wheel shroud, there's going to be 3 T20 Torx here on the bottom, 1 kind of in the center and then 2 near the sides. Once those are out, you're going to be able to pop the steering wheel trim off on the bottom and the top. And that will give you access to that headlamp switch. Now there is 1 connector here on the back that you will need to unplug. And then we've got a Phillips screw here on the side that holds the headlamp switch in. And then the switch will just slide directly out. Now keep in mind there is going to be a small harness here on the top that we can see on our new one. This harness just connects the two switches together. Again, if you want to just use your factory one or use the one that potentially is going to come on your salvage yard or new switch, you can do that. But again, it is super easy. We're going to just connect that connector back up, slide this back into its slot. We've got, again, our little small white connector on the back that plugs in right there. And then we will get our Phillips screw back in here on the side. And now we can throw our shrouds back on. And again, we'll have the 3 screws here on the bottom to tighten those shrouds up. All right, guys, so up next is our sun load sensor. Now, this sensor is going to basically live from the factory right here on the dash. Now, there is no hole, obviously, since this was not factory equipped, but the wiring harness that I've already got drug out of the dash is going to be basically tucked up here and plugged into just a fake little connector up here. It's going to be next to impossible to see, but I was able to stick a small screwdriver and release the lock tab right there and get the connector drug out of the way. So again, we are going to need to cut a small circle here in the dash to fit our sun load sensor. Now guys, you're going to need to be extremely careful with this because that top piece that we are drilling a hole into is part of the dash. That is not a replaceable piece of trim. That is just the dashboard assembly, the whole darn thing. So be very careful depending on how you're doing this thing. I guess ideally if you had a really small hole saw and you could hole saw it and make it really perfect, it's just going to be hard to do. I am going to attempt to use a Dremel and slowly make that hole larger and have a really nice tight fit. Now the hole doesn't need to be like perfectly round because that sun load sensor has a little bit of a lip on the top edge, so it could cover up a slightly not perfect circle and still have it look nice and clean. So I'm going to do my best. I'm probably just going to throw a little time lapse of me here dremeling away at the dash to get this sensor to fit, and hopefully we get a nice snug fit. Okay guys, so now that we've got our hole in the dash, I'm going to tuck my wiring back up and out of the hole in the dash. So I will be able to plug in our new sensor and slide this back down into the dash. So yeah, that is very respectable looking. I did add, my final cut on the hole was maybe just a teeny bit loose for the sensor. So I did add a couple of rounds of electrical tape on the kind of body of that sensor, and I don't think that thing's going anywhere now. So guys, I'm going to be able to now throw our big, huge radio bezel back on this thing. And again, don't forget, you've got the single 7mm screw up top. You've got the one here with the switches, and then 2 here on each side of the instrument panel or cluster that you'll need to get thrown back in. All right guys, so last but not least, we're jumping on to the GoPro here since I actually need to use my phone, which I typically record on for our programming. Like I said, I've got JScan, which is just a app that you can download, I think for Apple or Android, and then you will of course need a OBD2 adapter, dongle, whatever the heck you want to call it. So all I'm going to do is take and plug this into the OBD2 port underneath the dash, turn the key to the run position, obviously without starting the engine, and then we will pull the app up here and see what we can do for programming. Okay guys, so here with our OBD JScan app, we are going to get this pulled up, and then we're able to select Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, all obviously Mopar stuff, but we are an 07 through 18 JK. And then it wants to know what we want to connect to. Now I've already connected the Bluetooth adapter to my phone, so it pulls up under the available options here. Engine should be off, the key should be in the run position, and then it's going to connect to the vehicle. Now it's kind of a pretty cool app here. You can go in, read and clear trouble codes, all kinds of cool things like that. And I believe some of that is free, but if you actually want to go in and start messing with configuration things, which is what we need to do, you're going to need to pay for a license. Now guys, a single license through JScan I think was like $25.99, and that is per VIN number, so that I believe is going to be saved to my account. So anytime I want to plug into this thing, change configuration, change tire height, gear ratio, you can do a whole lot of stuff with JScan. I'll be able to not again pay in the future since I've already paid once. So my one entry fee for $25, $26, I'll be able to mess with this thing for life. And the main reason why I bought this was for to be able to enable our auto headlights with our mod today. But looking at the vehicle, Mom does have 33-inch tall KO2s on this thing. I'll be able to go in there and correct the tire height calibration, so the speedometer is perfectly spot on. You know, in the future, if we went larger, smaller, whatever on tires, you could fix that. Another thing is the LED headlamps. I can go into the configuration and change it so it recognizes that it is a LED headlamp Jeep now and will correctly output voltage, so you don't have the flicker that you sometimes run into with LED headlights onto JKs. So guys, like I said, we are going to go into our light conversions, and then right up top here, one of the first things is auto headlamp enable on and off. You can go in and turn this setting on and off, your target value deactivated or activated. I've already clicked activate here. You would then hit the go button and it then configures the vehicle. Now again, guys, here is all the different things you can mess with, even in just lighting. You know, LED headlamp, I went ahead and turned that on so it would be correctly doing voltage, but my goodness, you can just absolutely, completely mess up a vehicle here with all of these different settings. All right guys, so that is kind of everything. Obviously I'm going to test it here, but that is a pretty easy mod on a JK. Now I guess I would make sure your vehicle has the connector for the sun load sensor. Maybe a super base model crank window Jeep isn't going to have that, so this would all be in vain since you don't have the connector to connect to. But pending you pull that top bezel off and take a look, make sure, like I said, that connector was plugged into a little fake connector up high there. Make sure that's there before you order any parts and pieces. And like I said, I ordered my sun load sensor and my headlamp switch off of eBay, off of salvage, crashed, whatever vehicles for pennies on the dollar compared to ordering them new through anywhere else. So I'm happy with them. They seem to work fine. The programming, man, went really, really well. JScan looks like it's going to be an absolutely awesome tool to be able to use on this Jeep, Dad's Jeep, my potential future Jeep that we will be seeing shortly. So yeah, it's going to work really well. I'm happy I spent the money and got the thing. The OBD dongle thing was like 30 bucks or something online. And then of course, you're gonna need to pay each VIN number a license for you to use their software. But yeah, that's way cheaper than going to the dealer and paying for, hey guys, I wanna add or remove certain things. And in this case, auto headlights aren't even a thing a dealer can add. That's not something that the dealer can add with their software. So your only option is the aftermarket way. So we've got everything hooked up. We've got everything programmed. I've got the shop lights turned on, so I think they will be bright enough that the headlights won't turn on, but I'm gonna fire the thing up. In theory, the lights will be off. We're going to then turn the lights off here in the shop and see if they come on. That should be our test here for our daylight and nighttime. Okay, so my lights are not bright enough or not correct here in the garage. I'm gonna throw my phone light just blindingly bright on the sensor there and they should turn off. Okay, so with my actual phone light sitting there on the sensor, it simulated daytime and they shut off. So now I'm going to pull that and they should obviously kick back on. Hey! So guys, just like that, we've got working auto headlights on this thing. I have always noticed that LED lights or fluorescent lighting will always be a little bit weird with auto headlights for that sun load sensor. It really just needs to see natural light for them to work correctly. So that's why it was kind of being goofy with the lights on and the headlights coming on. But again, outside, that's where they're actually supposed to be working and it can properly read the sun load. So guys, thanks for coming out here in the garage with me and doing another mod on Mom's JK. And like I said, we will hopefully in the next few weeks be doing a whole bunch of mods on a white Jeep here in this garage, and it will hopefully be my new Jeep that I've been waiting for quite a few months now. So guys, hopefully everything goes well on our new Jeep here for the channel. And yeah, until then guys, thank you so much for watching and I'll catch you guys next time.